Have you thought about making a career transition? I mean, so many people do. I've made 2 major transitions in my life, and the fear, I think, that most people have comes from not knowing whether or not it's the right thing to do and when they should do it. And so I've got 5 really powerful questions to ask before you step out and make that career transition. I think these are really important, and having spent years coaching hundreds of people as a personal and executive coach, many of my clients over the years have wanted to make a transition. I've coached them through the transition. Now we train other coaches to coach people through transitions. And what I know for sure is that asking yourself powerful, thought-provoking questions before you make a decision is so important. So I'm going to share these 5, and they actually come from my book, Start Here, Start Now, which is about loving better, working smarter, and living a more bold life. And that often comes from answering tough questions that get you to the right answers you need. So here's the first question to ask before you make a career transition. Number 1, do I really want a whole new career or just a new situation? You know what, sometimes what you need is to get out of a negative environment, or perhaps your skills aren't being used well or appreciated well. And it might not even be leaving the company, it might be moving into a different department, or finding a new way to work within your current position, but not necessarily a whole new career. So you've got to be really clear, do I need a whole new career? Or do I just need a new situation? We really don't want to just throw the baby out with the bathwater, so it's important to be very clear about that. Here's number 2. What am I missing in my current career that I want in a new one? What am I missing in my current career that I want in a new one? You want to be really, really clear about what it's going to give you to transition into a new career. When you get clear, when you really pinpoint what you're going to get, then you understand why you're taking the risk, why you're exiting out of the sure thing that you might have, or the sure income that you have, or investing in education or training that might be needed. You want to understand what's missing in my current career that I want in a new career. Here's number 3. What do I have in my current career that I might have to give up in a new career? So this is the opposite. What do I have? What's the blessing? What's the advantage of my current career that I'm going to have to give up in a new one? And it's really easy sometimes for us to dismiss what we already have because we begin to take it for granted, and we think that the grass is greener on the other side. And the last thing you want is to enter into a new career and then realize, well, wait a minute, I had to give up those great hours, or I had a really great flexible situation, or a good boss, or whatever it might be. But don't take for granted the things you have in your current career, because you might really miss them if you let them go to embrace something else. You want to be able to say, is it going to be worth it to give up these things in order to get whatever that new thing is? If it's worth it, go for it. But if it's not worth it, doesn't it make sense to figure that out before you make the investment of time and energy and give up something that really, really matters to you? Number 4, do I have the real scoop on the new career? What I suggest is talking to people who are already where you're saying you want to be. Have a list of questions, things that you want to know about that career, and ask the same questions of at least 3 people who are already in that new career. What this gives you is perspective, and perspective is so very important. Don't make assumptions just by reading about it or kind of fantasizing about what you think it's going to be. Find out from people who are already there or who've been there and done that. And then number 5, can I leverage my current experience so that I'm not starting from scratch? The ideal is that you take what you already know, you take this current experience and you find a way to leverage it. And what that means is that, maybe you don't have to start out entry level in the new career, but you're able to say, here's what I've already done, and here's how I think these skills can be relevant with where I'm going. Or maybe it's your current network that you have. Maybe you can leverage that to give you an advantage as you move into your new career. But don't just throw out what you've already done. Really find those ways to say, hey, how is this relevant for where I'm wanting to go? So that's it. It's so important to ask these powerful questions before you make that career transition. And then once you answer them and you realize, hey, it's still going to be worth it, then go for it. Step out of your comfort zone and just know you're going to feel fear. When I took my first step out of a 9-to-5 job, an 8-to-5 job really, to start my own PR firm 20 years ago, I was scared, but I knew it was worth it. And when I decided to get out of PR altogether and launch into my current career in 2001, again, there was fear, but there was also a lot of excitement. And I made the decision to give up those things that were comfortable to go after my dream. I have never regretted that. There were some moments that were very, very hard, some years that were very, very hard. But I don't regret it because I'm in your purpose. If you're thinking about a career transition, know it's possible, but answer those tough questions up front. I'll talk to you next time.